Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Notre Dame Primetime Live. I am your host, Ryan Favell, with my co-hosts Ben and Sean. Back together again for another episode after Notre Dame absolutely creams Stanford, a rivalry game on the road in Palo Alto. As we saw, Tuesday evening, even evidently that wasn't enough, according to the committee. To keep them above Alabama. Alabama jumps Notre Dame one spot for a quote-unquote impressive victory, beating an Auburn team on the road and, evidently getting out to a 17-0 start over a 1-7 Auburn team is impressive. How you guys feeling this week?
Like, we'll find out Sunday how we really feel.
I'm gonna start by saying two things with it. This is gonna be a little tangent, so just you give me 2 minutes with it, and then we'll talk. I do not disagree with the people. Now I'll explain more on that in a minute. That think Miami should, in some way, shape, or form, be above Notre Dame. I do not disagree. Disagree doesn't mean I think it should happen. I don't disagree with that statement. I think both should get in. But two opinions on everything that happened. I think Alabama should have originally been in front of Notre Dame, and we should not have jumped them. But now that the fact that we did jump them at 9, I don't see beating Stanford, who's a 4-win team, by 20-something points, and them beating a 5-win team by 7 is enough for you to flip them back. And I have an issue with that. And the reason they did it is because they want to have the loser of the SEC championship in the playoffs. They don't want there to be a situation where Notre Dame's 9, BYU wins, and Notre Dame gets in over Alabama. It's smart. They're doing it that way. It makes sense. Just say it. Don't bullshit me on the radio station that they looked good running the football, right? The other thing I have with the Miami thing, I do value head-to-head. I've always been a head-to-header. I've brought this concern up probably every week for the past 8 weeks, and I would talk about it when we would talk about the rankings of Miami creeping up, right? My opinion is this, and then I'll say last thing with it. I don't disagree with Miami being in front of Notre Dame because of them beating us. However, you should have done it at the latest yesterday, because Joey Galloway said it best. They have been comparing them because they have been in the same pool for the last 2 to 3 weeks, and that they've been compared as teams, and they felt that Notre Dame is better. Now they're 2 spots different, and Joey Galloway said, what's the difference between 1 spot and 2 spots realistically? If you feel Miami is better than Notre Dame, you do it. But if you don't, that's fine. And this is why I have an issue, and Notre Dame should be in the playoffs, whether I think Miami should or shouldn't be in, is I don't think that I think this is it, unless you're in a conference championship. Tuesday, the rankings were made. You said Notre Dame was better than Miami. So all of a sudden on a Sunday, when they're already 2 spots different, they might be 1. But you say now Miami's better than Notre Dame when there's not anything that has changed or anything that has happened to change the point that you've made for the last 5 weeks they're better than Notre Dame. If you came out Tuesday night and said Miami should be in front of Notre Dame because they beat them, I would not be upset with that. But on Sunday, if they jump Notre Dame, I will be upset if they jump Notre Dame, if both teams don't play a game and have nothing at all to make them switch. And there's nothing that has happened in the last week to make them switch. And this is another thing I want to go in depth with, as the potential of getting 1 spot, and something I would heavily disagree with. Every single team that lost a conference championship last year dropped at least 1 spot. So with that happening, let's just say this. If BYU loses to Texas Tech, they might drop a spot. But if Alabama loses to Georgia and has 3 losses compared to 2 and does not drop 1 spot, which at that point out of Power 4 champions or whatever, that would be 8 teams in the last 2 years. They're the only one that doesn't fall after losing. I have an issue with. If you're going to drop BYU for losing against a top 5 Texas Tech, but you don't drop Alabama for losing to a top 5 Georgia, I also have an issue with that. That's hypocritical. It's I don't necessarily believe teams should be punished for losing the conference championships. But even if they do, if you can't do it for some and not do it for others, in my opinion, if we run into the situation where BYU's, if Alabama loses, then Notre Dame should probably jump Alabama. If they were ahead of them for 3 weeks and you said they were better and then you flipped them because of this, you're telling me after them losing, that's enough for them to stay in front of Notre Dame when they were just in front of Alabama? So the 3 main things before we go in depth of talking about this, I don't necessarily disagree with Miami being in front of Notre Dame. But guess what? I do now because I think it's too late to do it. It's too late. You've had weeks to do it. They've been in the same pool for 2 to 3 weeks now. But now that they're 2-spot difference, you have the opportunity to flip them. Now that you haven't, there's no reason. You can't do it. So I disagree with nobody's playing anything to do a flip. I disagree with the bias potentially with conference championships. And I disagree with how Notre Dame is continuing to win, has done nothing wrong, and they could fall 2 spots in the span of a week. I do understand people's opinions before you go. And I don't disagree with Miami potentially being in over Notre Dame. I want that known. I don't disagree with it per se. I just don't think you can do it now because I think it would be atrocious to do it now. But Ryan, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so I agree with you. My thing, though, is I believe both Notre Dame and Miami should both be in the playoff. I personally think Notre Dame and Miami are better than Alabama and Oklahoma. They will never put both those two teams over Oklahoma and Alabama because of the SEC.
Yeah, and
the SEC, we know who runs the sport now. Greg Sankey would be losing his effing mind if that were to happen. But realistically, the goal is to get the best 12 teams. I don't think Oklahoma is one of the best 12 teams. I don't think Alabama is one of the best 12 teams. I think Notre Dame and Miami are better than them. Problem is, my argument is if it comes down to 1 spot, Miami shouldn't be in over Notre Dame because the head-to-head's not end-all be-all. And, again, people didn't have a problem with Louisville being ranked ahead of Miami a few weeks ago when they had the same record.
Yeah.
Or Louisville being ranked behind them. Yeah, nobody had a problem with that.
Don't forget about Ohio State.
Yeah, nobody would have had a problem with if Ole Miss would have dropped to Mississippi State. Nobody would have had a problem with them dropping behind Oklahoma, even though they had the head-to-head. To me, it's such a dumb argument because if you look at all the metrics, all the statistics, everything favors Notre Dame. The only argument, the one and only argument Miami has is legitimately a game week 1 where they won by a late game field goal against a freshman quarterback in his first start on the road in a hostile environment with a new DC, a new defense that was being implemented.
Yeah.
And again, you can sit up there and say it's excuses. It's facts. That's literally just a fact that happened. And to me, if you were going to do it, you should have done it last night.
Yeah.
You should. To me, if you do it Sunday, to me, you just purposely drug Notre Dame through the mud, and you drag their fan base along so that you could have more viewership for a Sunday selection committee. Because what would be your other explanation? What there's no excuse. Well, we just decided that they moved up 1 spot. That makes such a big difference. Nobody played, and actually, ironically enough,
Vanderbilt. I mean, they beat them.
There was games that were played last week.
Yes.
Texas beat a top 3 team. And ironically enough, guess what? The only thing that can change is Notre Dame's resume. You know why? Boise State. That's it. Boise State can help Notre Dame's resume by winning the Mountain West Conference. That's it. Miami, none of Miami's teams that they played are still playing. Everybody else is sitting at home.
My best friend is a Texas fan, and he told me two things with this because he's very upset. And he said on the aspect of they're missing the playoffs. Not their loss to Ohio State helps propel them. They've had 3 top 10 wins, and they have 3 losses, and they're not close. And it's because of the Florida loss, he said. One unranked loss, if that's a ranked loss, they might be in the pool. But he's like, so Texas's one unranked loss is why they're definitely falling there with the 2 other losses. But he's like, he even said to me, he was like, I don't understand why when everyone's bringing this up that nobody talks about Miami having 2 unranked losses. And with that even out with the win, and then you look at the metrics, right? So it's definitely interesting. I think that I would not have been upset if they did it Tuesday. I wouldn't have. But I would be Sunday because there's nothing that's happened in between to cause a flip if you've said Notre Dame's the 9th best team in the country and now 10.
Yeah. Ben, what are your thoughts?
This is annoying. This is the problem of college football. And hands down, this is what they have said for the past 3 and 4 weeks, that this is a committee that is ranking this is a committee that is ranking teams based off of how good they think they are, not who deserves it the most. Who deserves the most? Miami deserves to be above Notre Dame because they beat us in the game. I understand it's early on, but that's what happens. It's the teams that deserve it the most, because just like how last year SMU, they're only like they made the ACC championship, they were ranked, they deserved it the most, but they fucked up last year with that. This year is supposed to be the year that they said, okay, we're putting the best teams in outside the auto bids. And the auto bids, of course, like those could be the top, like I said, Texas Tech, Ohio State, or IU, or Georgia, or Alabama. They're part of that area. Well, Alabama not. I don't think Alabama's above Miami or Notre Dame. But Evan to say last night is that we haven't compared them next to each other. Like, what are you talking about? So we compare them in these groups. Are you just like laying out the floor and then ranking 1, 2, and 3? Or are you actually looking at these teams and comparing these teams because they're in the same group? They could be totally full of shit. They could already decide that, oh, we're not jumping them. They could. Who fucking knows what they're doing? I don't know what they're doing.
They should have just said.
But
they weren't going to, because
let me go. Just one second. This is the problem: is that if they were to say that, no one would watch the show on Sunday if BYU lost. It would be, we know where everyone's going to be. We know who's in. We'll find out the bracket when it comes out. We don't need to watch it. And people are saying, like, I don't know if views matter that much. They matter a decent amount. They're going to make money off that show. The biggest thing is off this is that if you're going to tell me that Miami got better than us in those 3 or 4 weeks, you're full of shit. They haven't gotten better than us. They haven't looked better than us.
But even if you did, let's hypothetically.
Even if you did, you do it last night. You don't say it Sunday.
Yes.
Because you can't tell me that, oh, well, BYU's in between them. And we can't really do that with a team like bullshit. Yes, you can. They did the exact same thing with Utah. Utah moved down 2 spots. Texas went up and Miami went up. What are we talking about? You can't do that. Like, yes, you can. There's nothing stop. And this is fully just because, and realistically, it might not matter. BYU could win on Saturday at noon. They could. At 3:30, our season's over. It could be. I don't know.
If BYU wins and Alabama loses, there's still a chance.
They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They're not going to kick Alabama out of the playoffs for losing a conference championship.
But they'd be the only conference champions and not.
That's the one thing they do, is they're not kicking. They've already made it clear that a team is not going, unless it's something like a team loses a player in that game. Like, I'm not going to even say, but you know that if Jordan Travis 2.0 happens in one of these games, they're not going to do it. And the other thing, and back to that a little bit, what is with this Ole Miss bullshit? Ole Miss doesn't get affected by losing their head coach. Are you shit? This is purely the ESPN SEC bias. It has always been the ESPN SEC bias. They do the same shit. They pin us against each other to hide it, to push it up. It's just, I don't understand. I want to fully understand what's going through their minds, But I don't think they fucking know what's going on. They're probably not even fucking choosing. It might be someone else choosing, or it might be a group of people in there making the decisions. If an other committee member is like, yep, I'm going to be a thumbs up jockey, 100% agree. Let me suck the dick of the SEC, because it's purely bullshit. Notre Dame is not done anything to be moved down the spot. They have beaten every team by 20 plus points. They scored 21 points without the defense touching the field 2 weeks ago. They act like that shit's easy. They're like, oh, Syracuse had a lacrosse quarterback. He's a Division I athlete. He's played quarterback his whole life. He also threw a touchdown against Miami and went 3 for 3 against Miami's third stringers. He could do that against our third stringers. There's nothing Notre Dame has done to move them down. This is the SEC being protected by ESPN, and they're total fucking bullshit.
Yeah. If they were honest and said on Tuesday night, we evaluated the whole season, and Miami, and down the stretch, Miami and Notre Dame both looked similar and the same, and we valued that head-to-head, so we made the flip. I got you. You got me. I'm being honest. Fine. But it's just you can't do it now. I think it would be very atrocious to drop a team that keeps winning 2 spots out of the playoffs.
I would have understood it if they did it last night. But if they do it on Sunday, nothing happened.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nothing happened to flip that result.
No teams played. No, we didn't see any teams improve besides the conference champ teams.
I also don't agree with, like, I'm sorry, even though I know you're right with this, I don't agree that if BYU loses, you drop BYU. If Tulane loses, you drop Tulane. And you do all these things where they lose. But then if Alabama loses, you don't drop them a spot when every other
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing, Sean. If Alabama loses, yes, they should drop. But if BYU wins, guess who's getting left out? It's not Alabama. It's Notre Dame, because they're not going
to move a conference champ team out of the playoffs.
If BYU wins, I understand.
How I look at it, Sean, if BYU wins and we get left out because of it, this is the game you play when you're not in a conference. That's how that works.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. If BYU wins and we're left out, I'm okay.
Fine. But my problem is with Miami. Like, again, like you said, nothing has changed. There would be no games played unless you told me Miami went out there and played Bethune-Cookman again and put up 70 this past weekend. And also, here's the thing, they'll never do it. But I'll be honest, I think instead of a 16-team playoff, why not do, like, when you're deciding, because most of the time you're going to be deciding between teams that aren't playing for a conference championship for the final couple spots.
You're talking about a play-in. Why
don't we do a play-in? Have Notre Dame, Miami play again on conference championship weekend. Winner, the committee gets to see both of them play, and then the winner gets the final spot.
I have 2 questions.
Why can't we do that?
2 questions. One, with going back, before I go back to that, everyone talks about if BYU loses, they could potentially fall, and Miami and Notre Dame would be back-to-back. But if Alabama loses, wouldn't there be the chance that it would be Notre Dame, Alabama, Miami? Isn't there a chance that would happen? Do you understand what I'm saying? Alabama would get the last spot. We would jump Alabama.
No, I don't.
Wait. Ask your question again.
So everyone's talking, if BYU loses, they would fall, and Miami and Notre Dame would be next to each other, right? But if Alabama loses, isn't there the chance where it would be Notre Dame, then Alabama, then Miami?
That's definitely possible. They already said that's possible.
Okay.
Their main statement is that if you're a team that's in the playoffs going in the conference championship weekend, you cannot be kicked out of the playoffs unless if you're on that borderline.
So my question to you is this too. I don't like a 16-team playoff, Ryan, because I think it's year to year. I think last year there were far from 12 teams to be good enough. This year I think there's probably 14 teams that are probably good enough. But I think if you get to a 16 range...
I would say last year there were 12 teams good enough to win. To make a decent playoff. Now, the problem is that when we have the auto bids, we don't see those 12 teams.
Understand. But I think you should have auto bids at some level. But
I don't think you should. I think
I
auto
don't
bids
think you
are.
should.
I think the biggest problem with auto bids are this: is that you allow for mediocrity during the season. A 3-loss team, unless if they, and like I said with Alabama last year, a 3-loss team, unless if they have 2 top 10 wins or 5 top 25 wins, should not be in the playoffs. It should not happen unless if there's a whole bunch of 3-loss teams making it, or unless it's something like where you have to choose and there's the cut line is a whole bunch of 3-loss teams you're putting one in.
yeah, it's
It
going to
should
happen
not
one
be.
year. But
Yeah, it will. It's
I
probably
don't
going to happen this
a
year.
16-team playoff because it makes it to a point where there's a Notre Dame, or I'm going to say Georgia. If you're a Georgia fan and you lose to Auburn and Mississippi State, who gives a fuck? You're going to be in the top. It's going to turn into the NFL. What's so great about college?
Well, that's why I said. That's why I said the play.
Having the auto bids turns it into the NFL.
Yeah, but I think if you allow for more teams in a playoff, it creates a point of comfortability that is the NFL, where what makes college so great is you're uncomfortable, right?
I think the biggest thing that we need to do is this. Change it to 16 teams. Just let it be
That's
16
the
teams.
most you can do. The most.
Do not right now. Yeah, facts. Tyler Buckner's a pretty good lacrosse player, and he fucked us at the quarter. Imagine if we didn't have a lacrosse player at third string quarterback, we would have beat Texas
Wait,
A&M.
hold on. Yeah, imagine we didn't have a walk-on lacrosse player holding
But
snaps.
the biggest thing here is this: change it to 16 teams for now, because right now we're not in the super conference yet. We're not. When we join when there's a super conference type of thing, maybe talk about. I don't know if there are ideas for that. I've heard about some ideas. I don't think it's worth it. So if they do it, maybe change it to 24. 24 is insane, but I could see the points that they're making with 24 teams. Because they're saying like the top teams for certain things get buys, which maybe makes sense. I don't think college football will ever get to that point where that's actually realistic, though. But change it to 16 teams, no auto bids. The top 16 teams make it. Or maybe if you want to maybe do this. Do the top 16 teams make it? Any team that's a conference champ, you re-rank them from 1 to 4. If it's 4 conference champs, it's 5. If it's 6, you do that re-ranking first, so they can have the top spot.
But I think that you're going to hate me for this. If it is expanded to 16, I understand people's opinion on this. I don't know if necessarily it should be year to year. Like this year, I don't think any deserve it. However, I do think consistently for the sport, we should have one G5 school in there. For the sport.
I don't think no.
I'm
not going to lie to you, Sean. Okay.
Not this year. There's a year. If there's years like this, here's my thing about this. I don't think it should be a guarantee. I'm not saying it should be. However, I know how the committee thinks. And I think that you saw how long it took them to rank a G5 school. I would hate for there to be a 1-loss American champion be left out because there's no auto bid for them. I'd like to see a Boise 1-loss, or if USF had 1 loss. This year, when they have 2-3 losses, get out my face, right? But if there's 1 loss or better and they look dominant like Boise did last year, yes, Boise made it. They were good enough. They were high ranked, blah, blah, blah. But there's teams like UCF in the past, Houston in the past, that had Cincinnati in the past. They made the playoff. But the UCF teams, I don't want to see a team like that get left out. I want them to have a chance if they're that good.
The biggest thing here is that the way that college football works now, you could have a 12-team team be in the top 6, or a group of 5 team be in the top 16 or 16. It's possible. It's actually likely more than anything. It was pretty close to happening, and then USF shit the bed. Memphis shit the bed. Like those teams were on the cusp of top 16. My biggest thing is this: if we're going to say that we want the best 16 teams, there should be no group of 5 teams that if they don't actually compete to be top ranked. If a group of 5 team cannot go 11-1, they should not make it. 10-2 is a stretch. 10-2 is where I'm iffy on it. I can see 10-2 is a little fine, but I keep seeing people say like, "Oh, well, what if they did this for Cincinnati?" What are we talking about? That's not comparable. Sauce Gardner, Desmond Ritter, Jerome Ford, Alec Pierce. I understand. Like it sounds like I'm trying to turn it into Cincinnati thing, but all those fucking guys would not be playing at UC.
Show your sweatshirt.
Yeah,
but all those guys would not be playing at UC that year. They would have been gone. They would have got picked up in NIL. They would have left.
Now, hold on a second. Here's my thing on the G5. my argument, and I get it's different because there's not as many teams, but March Madness, they put in every single small conference champ from every single small and I get it. There's 68 teams, so you have more spots to do it. But we all know 16 seeds for 99.9% of the time have no fucking shot to win their first round game.
There will
Like
there will
is a
never
better
be.
chance. Hold on, there's a better chance that a James Madison pulls an upset in college football than there is a 16 seed beating a 1 seed in basketball. They're both very unlikely. Both very unlikely.
There will never be a G5 champion, but there will be a G5 team that wins or makes a run. I think
I don't know. That's the thing. Like, I'm looking at this year. James Madison is not beating Ohio State, and they're definitely not beating, let's say, Georgia or Texas Tech. I understand this year it's a little off, but overall speaking, group of 5 teams aren't going to beat those top. Like, and I fully understand it. If it's something like a group of 5 team, maybe plays like a 9 seed, I could see it maybe happening. It's a little bit more competitive, but they're playing the team who's just right outside a bye. Like, why are we wasting our time with this game? Like, they're not going to win. And last year that happened. The group of 5 team got a bye, and the power 4 team couldn't even do it. Play a close game. It feels like we're wasting our time.
We should talk about the doomsday scenario with how that affects Notre Dame.
Real quick. I want to get some of these comments. Real quick, shout out to my mom, who Ben got to meet.
Hi, Danielle.
She says they want an SEC team over another conference. Would they ever consider to allow a 3-loss team to get in the playoff if it wasn't an SEC team? Bama loses, they should be done just like Texas. So, I think a Big Ten team, but I also don't know if a Big Ten team would have the strength of schedule.
I think it depends on the Big Ten team.
It really depends on what the team. And last year, like I said, if you flip flop how the committee's choosing their teams, if they did this last year, Bama's in the playoffs. SMU's not in it.
So something I want to say with this too is, I also agree on the aspect that the ACC championship, I think, does have a big impact on Notre Dame. I do. I think if Virginia wins, I think if Virginia wins, that's your ACC team, and I don't really think Miami could jump. But I could see if Duke's the winner and they have 2 group of 5 teams or a Duke in there, but 2 group of 5 teams, that they could be like, we have to represent the ACC.
See, here's the thing. I completely disagree with that. I told Frable this. I think they hate the ACC so much that they might not put them in, period. And this will be one of those things where it's like, this is how much lesser this conference is compared to the other conferences.
Which, by the way,
they hate the ACC. And realistically, if Duke doesn't win, now Miami, it's not like Miami lost to a team that, or didn't win a conference with a team that is playing in the playoffs. Now they didn't win a conference where no one's playing in the playoffs. That's how bad that looks. You couldn't win that. I understand. They think the rules are stupid. The rules have been made for 25 fucking years. You didn't have a problem with it before. Don't have a problem with it now. So that's my thing.
Beat SMU or Louisville, and this isn't it.
Yeah, beat SMU or Louisville, and the rules don't matter. You're in the fucking playoffs.
Yeah, and so
shit does not. And that's the thing. I keep hearing Miami fans be like, "Oh, like this." Like the biggest thing that matters is you lost to 2 easy teams, lost to 2 bad teams.
No, and here's my thing, right? Like, and I haven't talked to Sean about this, but I've briefly mentioned this in the space the other night. If Notre Dame is Sunday and we get left out for Miami, fuck the ACC. You go to the ACC office, you rip up the contract, and you say we're done. You do whatever you got to do to get out of it. I believe we talked about last night that they can get out of it next year. Yeah.
No, 165 million for us to get out of it.
165 million.
Next year it's 155.
Yeah, donate the money to the Rock Me Fund to do it. The openly campaigning against us, just doing whatever they can for Miami, the bullshit of them making us still play 5 to 6 ACC teams outside of our agreements with Miami, Florida State, and Clemson. Like, we do so much more for that conference than they do for us, and it's not even funny. And it just drives me up a wall because they're the ones that pick which ACC teams we play. they maybe give us one good ACC team a year, and the rest of them are dog shit. And they do that because they want to bump the ratings up for those teams, bump up the TV revenue for those teams, get more butts in seats for those stadiums. They're taking advantage of us. We're realistically one of the big reasons why that conference is still afloat in realignment.
Agreed.
Where do you think they got the extra money and the TV revenue to be like, hey, Miami, hey, Florida State, hey, Clemson, we're going to keep you guys happy. We're going to give you guys a bigger cut of the pie. Why do you think Notre Dame scheduled the home and homes with those teams? You think that just magically, it just was a coincidence?
I think
No.
if you're ACC, you shouldn't want Notre Dame right now either, because they haven't. We've had lost one ACC game, 2 in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Like, we just continuously beat them. The ACC is probably like, fuck that, right?
Yeah, I think you need to leave it if that happens. But, and also on top of that, it's a fucking conference where a 7-5 Duke team can win their conference championship. And I get it. Like, and I agree with what Ben said about the rules have been the rules for 25 years. But the mental gymnastics with the tiebreakers you had to do to get Duke in the ACC.
The day I put that shit in the group chat, like what Miami needs, it took me 45 minutes. It should just be simple as head-to-head opponents. If that's common opponents, if it keep going down to common components, or hell, do what the American does. This is fixed if they do what the American does and just be like, oh, we want the best playoff team in. Just do that for tiebreakers if there's no common opponents and no head-to-head. But this whole thing where it's like, oh, we're taking win percentage points and based off of ranking points, like, what are we doing? This is so. This whole conference is so fucked.
And think about it.
And we're the only reason this conference is a thing. Basketball hasn't done shit in years. When was the last time an ACC team won the championship?
Virginia?
Like pre-COVID? Virginia? Pre-COVID Virginia? Right?
Did North Carolina win it in
North Carolina, 2021. So what? It's got to be on 6 years if they don't do it, or 5 years if they don't do it this year. It's been 5 years. And their basketball teams have looked worse. Last year, they only got 4 or 5 teams into the tournament. The Big East got more than them. Like, what are we taught? Like, this is terrible. They don't do shit in baseball. Florida State hasn't been good. Like, it's just, there's so much shit that makes no sense with this shitty conference. We need to fucking leave.
And here's my final thing on it, too. Because of their shitty conference and their shitty rules and their tiebreakers, if you went, like you said, with the American went off and you did the rankings, this whole Notre Dame Miami discussion would be fucking a moot point.
Yeah.
Miami has an opportunity to get in. Like, it would fix everything. And I get it. I think what Nicole Auerbach was what she said was kind of stupid. But you can't change the rules. But realistically, if you were to just say, hey, Duke, I get the rules are the rules. But realistically, you're 7-5. You lost to fucking UConn. You got your ass kicked by Tulane. Like, we're going to put Miami in because we think that's the best thing for the conference. I'll be honest. I don't think Duke
would give a shit.
I don't think Duke would care.
I think Duke would love the fact that they were even mentioned in it. I don't think Duke has any belief they're going to win this football game either. Like, yeah, of course, like the coach could be like, oh, no, we want a chance to compete. They wouldn't care. They care more about basketball.
Yeah.
They would be upset because guess what? Duke basketball plays the same day as this conference championship game, guys. It's going to take away viewership from Duke basketball. The kids are going to go to that game instead of Duke basketball game.
But it would just
gotta not be as loud.
It would end.
I don't agree with this comment at all.
No, it would make the argument moot. And Miami would have an opportunity to win their place in the CFP. They don't get that, and now you put in that position. I want to get to this comment. I know Ben said he disagreed. Was it DK Fishing and Outdoors says Bama shouldn't be out, and Texas has wins over Vandy, who is 10-2. A&M 11-1, Oklahoma 10-2. Most importantly, Miami has a head-to-head win over Notre Dame with better wins against the same opponents. They don't have better wins.
So wait,
They're not better
Miami was down to Stanford for almost a whole entire first half. Tied it going into the first half. They were down against Pittsburgh. They were tied to Syracuse with 2 minutes left in the first half. Those are better wins. Miami was down. Miami was up against NC State. I don't think NC State ever had a lead against Miami. But Miami was down or tied with all three of those teams at some point after the first score happening. So how is that? Like, no, Miami has not done better against common opponents. They have started slower and they have looked like shit to start the game. And then they finally get their shit together when they think, oh, we might lose.
And they get a touchdown with 20 seconds left. So
they force shit.
I'm gonna be honest. The reason this is so important to me and why I went on my rant and I want Notre Dame in is I think this Notre Dame team is better than last year's Notre Dame team. I do. But regardless if it's the same or whatnot, I think we are one of the few teams that can win it all. Whether I think that happens or not, I know we can make a run. And I said this to the chat earlier. I know with next year's schedule, we are making the playoffs. But it feels different. Like, I feel that this year's team is going to be better than next year's team. And I feel that this is a year where we have to have a shot and see. Because if we don't and we're losing, like I know, we have Carr in the offensive line back. We got good receivers. The defense will return pieces. We might lose some pieces on defense, but we'll return pieces, get some from the portal. But when you lose Price and Love, and that area where instead of stacking the box and you give Carr the advantage, like it just I know that next year's team's offense might not be as good offensively. So I'm nervous that if we miss out this year, we missed out on a very good chance to have the opportunity to win. While I still think we make the playoffs next year and could make a run next year, we have a talented team. Is next year's team better than this year's team? Right. So that's why I'm like, come on, like we have to have a shot,
Real quickly, I do want to, if you want to go back to that comment, Ryan, I do want to just kind of point out some stupid shit here. Okay, one, Bama shouldn't be out, and Texas has win. I'm assuming he's talking about how I said Texas doesn't deserve to be in. Texas has wins over 10-2 Vandy. Who the fuck is Vandy beat? They don't have a top 25 win right now. Their best win is Missouri, whose quarterback got injured in the first half.
Tennessee.
Hey. Rankings wise, I'm pretty sure Missouri got more votes than Tennessee in the AP. We don't know how the CFP votes, but at the end of the day, that's not good. That's not good enough for us to say that Vandy's good.
Tennessee doesn't have a single ranked win either.
Yeah, Tennessee has 2 wins above 500.
Whether I agree with you, I agree, but I think it is atrocious that Vanderbilt blew out a Kentucky, got jumped by Miami. And both of them blow out ranked teams, and Vanderbilt's just sitting there behind. I
think that more just had to do with the fact they were like, we're not putting Vandy in.
Yeah.
Like, I think realistically, there's certain Vandy got fucked this year by the fact Oklahoma won that game.
And also,
Vandy's probably this last team in.
The Miami head-to-head shit with this comment, stupid. We talked about the common opponents. Miami purposely left starters in late in those games to run the score up to make them look better.
We didn't run fade routes up by 30 points with 2 minutes.
Well, we tried against Stanford.
we tried against Stanford because Miami did it. But with our third stringers. Yeah,
that just proves how good our team is. Also, the Oklahoma thing. Oklahoma isn't good. Oklahoma fans have said themselves they're SEC Iowa. They're not going to get blown out. They're not going to blow teams out. If they get blown out, they lose to a top 3 team, a national championship team.
Jasper even
A&M wins a good win. Like, I'm not gonna
Jasper even said in the college football group chat that he didn't want to play Notre Dame because he thinks we would be a horrific matchup for them. So
we're a terrible matchup for most of the CFP, besides Ohio State.
By the way, my mom says hi, Ben. I didn't think you could. I said hello, but I didn't think you could hear me. All right. Frustrated Notre Dame fan. Why is it assumed a team can't drop after conference championship week? It happened with the 4 team. It happened when it was 2, especially 2012. Why not now? Because you had 12 teams. That's why.
Because realistically, before it was that was a part of your resume that helped you build up. I think I talked about it. I talked about it when we talked about this reminds me so much of the 2021 year. We needed Oklahoma State to win because I forget the other team that was behind us. But if they beat Oklahoma State, they were going to jump Notre Dame and maybe even jump Cincinnati. And then we needed Alabama to lose to Georgia, but only one of those happened. Alabama ended up beating Georgia, which is hilarious because guess what? We're basically doing the same shit this year. We need a Big 12 team to lose. We need an SEC team to lose.
It reminds me so much, and I mentioned it slightly. Nobody brings it up. It was like 2016 when Ohio State was 11-1. Penn State was 11-2. Penn State had the same amount of wins as Ohio State, beat
And
Ohio
that
State, and won the conference, and Ohio State still got in over Penn State.
And guess what? Nobody had a problem with head-to-head then. Nobody bitched and moaned about, oh, it's Ohio State. It's big. It's
they had one less loss, but still,
yeah, you lost to.
The thing is like with the Ohio State shit, I want to say, no, Penn State. Wait, no, I'm thinking of next year. The next year was the year that Penn State won the Big Ten as a 10-2 team, right?
Was that the year Ohio State lost to Purdue?
That was the year Ohio State lost to Penn State.
Yes. That was
Penn State had the head-to-head, but Penn State had to play in the Big Ten championship game,
and won.
They lost to Michigan State.
No, Penn State won the Big Ten that year.
Penn State won the Big Ten championship. They lost, I think.
I thought there was a year there was a year that Penn State lost the Big Ten championship and got left out the year they beat Ohio State.
What was the year that Ohio State lost to Purdue?
I think 2016.
That was 2017. Might have been 2018, actually. 2016, I mean. Here, I'm pulling it up now. CFP rankings.
But yeah, while you're pulling that up, like you can't jump. But I'm gonna tell you why frustrated Notre Dame fan. Why is Miami gonna jump Notre Dame when there's nothing that happens? You know what? These teams didn't play on the field, but my gut tells me Miami's better than Notre Dame now, so we'll flip them. You said Notre Dame's the 10th best team. Now you're gonna flip them for what? To fuck Notre Dame? That's shit. That's shit.
It's bullshit.
We made it in 2018, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So yeah, in 2016, Ohio State was above Penn State though, but they didn't make the playoffs. I don't know if that's the year they lost. Yeah.
Penn State beat Ohio State, had the same amount of wins, and won the Big Ten, and didn't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think that, again, like we've kind of rehashed it. I think we're all in agreement. We don't think Miami should move ahead.
No, let's ask this. What is our prediction for this weekend?
I think this. Here, realistically, I think Miami should be ahead of us if we're talking purely off merit. But if we're going purely off the fact that they have said for the past 4 weeks is about putting the best teams in, there's nothing Miami has done to be put in front of us.
So
nothing at all.
Hold on. That year, Penn State
lost to Pitt. Okay, I knew Penn State lost another game. I couldn't remember which one it was.
And Miami lost to SMU and Louisville. Sorry, but all right. So I'm gonna say this too. This weekend, what's your prediction for the last 2 teams in and the first team out? And what's the percentage Notre Dame gets in, Miami gets in, etc.? Like, what do you think it's Notre Dame? If it comes down to Notre Dame, Miami, do you think it's Notre Dame?
If they go off of and this is my thing, if they go off what they say and they hold that true and dear, it's Notre Dame 100% in, even if it's neck to each other. If they're going off of who is better, like who they think is better, like actually playing on the field, the eye test is what they say. It's Notre Dame. If they try to pull some shit, like we looked at the resumes now because they're right next to each other and we think Miami's better, I think they'll end up giving it to Miami if they do that shit. But if they do off what they've been doing the past 3 to 4 weeks, Notre Dame's ahead. Notre Dame's in the playoffs.
But what do you think happens, and what's the percentage that happens?
I think there's a 70% chance they do what I said, which is they look at head-to-head and they say Notre Dame's just better. The eye test says they're better. They've looked better than Miami has. They don't have the 2 unranked losses. Because some people say, like, oh, good teams can lose to unranked teams. You're right. Good teams can lose to unranked teams. They don't lose to them twice. And also, good teams can win again, or bad teams, or not bad teams. Okay teams can beat good teams. That does not mean the okay teams are better. And especially bad teams can beat good teams. Florida State beat a really good team in Alabama week 1. It does not matter. I think there's a 30% chance, so they backtrack on what they say, and they said, we compared the resumes, we think Miami deserves it.
Okay, so you think Notre Dame's in the playoff Sunday?
I think Notre Dame's in the playoffs come Sunday.
Right.
I think they should be.
All right, real quick. I also wanted to mention this, and then we can kind of move on. Two things. First thing, I also think it's kind of insane that I don't necessarily know if it matters, but to me as a fan, when we're out there publicly defending Notre Dame's place, and you see the ACC official account, the Miami official account, all these big time writers, these big time media people beating the drum for Miami to get in over Notre Dame, yet you don't see the Notre Dame official account making a case. You don't see them campaigning. Hell, I thought the Jeremiah Love Heisman campaign was ran a little too late than what it should have been. Do you guys see an issue with that? Why do you guys think that is? Like, I've seen people say maybe Notre Dame.
You want to know why?
Why?
I can tell you the exact reason why. Because it's a breach of contract for us to go out there and say we're better than an ACC school.
Also,
we're not breaching that shit because we're getting out that shit this year.
But they're doing it to us.
Yeah,
and it's just the account.
But Frable, the thing is, they're not going to be like, oh yeah, let's go back and do something to them. Because guess what? They're as guilty as we are, or we'd be as guilty as they are, and then we get fucked. But guess what? We're not gonna do it, and then we're gonna leave the fucking contract. I've been so, and this is the worst year for it. Last year it was kind of like, okay, there's certain things, like it sucks because we play these ACC schools. Some of them turned out to be okay, but a lot of them weren't that great. We should leave this contract. We should join the Big Ten. But now there's no reason for us to be here and put up this shit.
Brian.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with Ben. Answer the question though that we were talking about. With what do you think?
I think Notre Dame's logically, and me, Ben, and 229 were talking about this last night. The logical part in your brain is telling you the head-to-head wasn't enough to get Miami over Notre Dame all year. There's no games being played. Notre Dame and Miami are both sitting at home on the couch this weekend. Nothing's changed. Logically, Notre Dame should be in as long as BYU doesn't win. I think that's what's going to happen more than likely, but it's just impossible to believe anything this committee says because they flip-flop. They've been contradicting themselves all year. 2 weeks ago, they said the head-to-head was used between Notre Dame and Miami, that both were directly compared, and it didn't matter. It wasn't enough. And then this was last night, the guy says, well, we never directly compared Notre Dame to Miami, while saying that they were compared in the same pool, which makes no fucking sense. And then today, with Mike Golick Jr. in an interview, he's like, Notre Dame's just a better team right now. We believe Notre Dame's better. Notre Dame lost to two top 12 teams by 4 points. They've been more consistent all year than Miami. Meanwhile, Miami lost 2 out of 3 games in the middle of the season, and that's why we have Notre Dame ahead of Miami right now.
He said that today? The commissioner?
Said that today.
Okay, to be exact, that was released today. When was it said? We don't know, but it was said after last week's rankings. So you would think that has to do with what they did with this week's rankings as well.
Yeah. Well, no,
it was released after the games played.
Yeah, he said BYU was 11-1.
Yeah.
So
it was released so it could have been recorded Monday. It could have been recorded last night. It could have been recorded yesterday morning. We don't know when it was recorded, but they had to be thinking about that when they did this, because they do the actual selection on Sundays, don't they? That's when they actually do it. They actually go into a room and decide on Sunday.
They do.
Yeah.
So I think 2 things with this is, if that's the case, because I didn't see that, they have been comparing them, and I think the only way they flip is if the media gets to them, because everyone in the media.
I would be shocked if they give a shit what the media says. Because the media is telling them Diego Pavia is the best fucking player in the country and he's a Heisman winner. Why would you leave out Heisman champ?
I think it's
10-2 Heisman.
I think Notre Dame 60, Miami 40. Yeah. I think Notre Dame gets in.
Yeah.
And I think we're freaking out, but I think they get it.
At the end of the day, we're seeing what part of the fan base is just listening to what's around them and like just listening to what's on Twitter, and what part of the fan base is actually like taking us. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little annoyed. And you can ask Fravel. I went off in a group chat last night because I was annoyed. I'm sick as hell.
You went out today.
Can't tell. I went off today. Today was a little not as bad. I went off last night. I don't like going off on people in the group chat unless it's really needed. I'm tired of the. It's always our season's over. Like I fully understand. Trolls are troll. It's funny, but if you say shit and then you lie about it and you try to gaslight people into thinking that you know more than them, I just don't want to deal with it. So I went off. I regret doing it because it made me seem like an asshole. I didn't want to be an asshole to these people.
There was a night like 4 days ago where I was frustrated with something and you went off on me, but then I told you I was
because I was annoyed because we're playing against Stanford and I'm getting fucking, my phone is ringing with play-by-play of the Auburn fucking Alabama game. I have the game on, Sean. We don't need play-by-play.
But then you apologized. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, I sound like I'm sorry. I'm just annoyed.
So Sean is saying, here's the clip. I'll play it for you. This is what he said. I think this was recorded today during the Mike Golick show. So this is what Hunter Yurachek said about Notre Dame, Miami, and BYU.
Does he record the same? Fuck it, just play. We'll talk about it.
Games, and so they entered at 18. They have climbed. Miami entered our
Nick 2025 your year now.
Games, and so they entered at 18. They have climbed fairly quickly on the heels of 4 really impressive wins, including what they did against Pittsburgh this past weekend to number 12. Notre Dame, on the other hand, has been incredibly consistent over the past 10 weeks. They've won 10 consecutive games. They're outscoring their opponents 440 to 143, and we felt like they're just the better team right now. And then you've got a BYU team again that the committee's got a great deal of respect. 11-1. Their only loss on the road at number 4, Texas Tech. Their schedule strength and record strength metrics are really, really high. So you're looking at those teams collectively and you're splitting hairs, but the committee felt like at this point in time in a ranking that Notre Dame deserved to be ranked ahead of BYU and Miami, and that BYU deserved to be ranked ahead of Miami.
So that says right there that there's no chance that they jump Notre Dame.
And this is what I said last night. He couldn't be saying all this shit about oh, we're gonna redo the rankings. We're gonna re-rank all 25 teams. He could have said that just to get all 6, 7. We're trying to get the 6 to 7 best teams in.
That's so fucking cringy, bro.
But he could have been saying that just because they want people to tune in on Sunday. Or he could have been saying that just because it's something to talk about. Let's be real. If they're like, no, idle teams can't jump idle teams. Miami fans and Notre Dame fans would be talking. We'd be taking the week off. Let's be real. It'd be our bye week.
Yeah.
We wouldn't care.
I do think it's interesting because I do feel like you've seen it's pretty split evenly online. Half Miami fans think their season's done. There's no shot. Half of them think that they're going to flip Notre Dame on Sunday. So it's interesting. But we spent a lot of time.
Is that there's a lot of Miami fans that think their season's over, and there's a lot of Notre Dame fans that think our season's over. The majority flip-flopped what the decision is.
It's funny because I know that it's not, and I think we make it, but I also feel stressed thinking that our season is over too. So I'm literally conflicted with everything.
Yeah, so Deuce, our good friend Deuce, said, who you lost to should also matter. iTest says Notre Dame's a top 3 team in the country. I don't know how you guys feel. And we're going to move on after this because we've spent 50 minutes talking about this. But I think Notre Dame, and if you look at the FPI, the RPI, all the different metrics that power rank teams, they have Notre Dame in the top 3. I think Notre Dame, at the bare minimum, is a top 5 team in the country right now. If Notre Dame were to get in, and it is the bracket that we see, which is Notre Dame, you play A&M, Indiana, you get probably Georgia.
Semifinals.
If that happens, I think it's very possible you see a Notre Dame Ohio State rematch in the national title game this year. Now you got to get through Georgia. Ohio State would have to get through Bama, and Oregon. Have to get through Bama, brother. But I do think
that quarter.
Yeah, I think that
I'm taking Ohio State minus 25.5 against every team with this current bracket, all the way until the semifinals.
Yeah,
maybe even the finals.
Yeah,
maybe even the finals.
All right. Before we get into our next topic, a word from our guy.
2025, your season.
Jesus.
2025 can be your season. Subscribe to our betting app and use the code I don't know what the fuck the code is.
Now,
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
Hopefully,
I can't wait till
2025
make
is a winner.
2026 a winner now.
I can't wait for us to get booted off the air because we keep making fun of it.
I'm not making fun of him. I just
I
love
know.
it.
I think it's a
Oh,
great,
I'll
it's a
keep making
great
fun
ad
of it.
read. That's okay. Really quick.
No, and we love it. We love
If
it.
you want to go ahead and if you are, a person that loves to bet on sports, make sure you go over to our good friends over on Novig. Use code VOCFBND when you sign up. Remember, participants must be 21 years or older. And if you have a gambling problem, please seek help and call 1-800-GAMBLER. Anyways,
You're not a quitter. Keep digging. At some point, you're going to hit that diamond. But I will say this: I placed a bet last night, and Fraley,
Did you
saw
place
the
some
bet.
Miami? Did you place for Miami to make it?
I placed this bet. I said, "Fuck it! If we're in the Pop-Tart Bowl, I'm doing it with $100 in my pocket." I placed $10 bet: Notre Dame to miss it, Miami to make it, BYU to miss it, and Alabama to make it.
Jesus Christ!
$10 to pay 110. So if we don't make it,
So if I
at
bet
least I'm
$100, would I get 1,000 for that?
what did you say?
If you bet 10, you get 100. So if I bet 100, would I get 1,000?
Yeah.
I might bet 100 on that. Just so
That's what I'm saying. Like, at least you're a little bit happy because you have money. I saw a Penn State fan do this like on Twitter or on TikTok. He was like, I put 25. It was the amount of his ticket. He's like, how much would a Penn State win cost me? He's like $2,500. This guy's like a stock option guy, so he has a decent amount of money. He put $2,500 on Oregon money line. He's like, Oregon wins, I make $3,500 because Oregon was the underdog. Penn State wins, I'm happy, and I lost $2,500, but my team's finally relevant.
Okay, 25-100 is insane.
Well, this dude, he's a financial guy. I've been following him for a while. He's like a big financial guy. That's the thing.
All right, let's go.
He sells his classes.
Ryan said, "Shut up, Ben."
All right, let's go ahead and talk about.
that. Cool.
All right, shut up, Sean.
Oh, you're gonna say the F word.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about National Signing Day.
Can I say that I
what he
forgot
said-
it was National Signing Day?
You forgot
Well,
today
to
was
be
National
honest with
Signing
you, we had nothing happen.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
it's one of the few National Signing Days where I woke up, I'm like, oh, all 27, shit, okay, let's go.
You like that, though. I prefer that.
I prefer that too. Like, yeah.
Notre Dame with the class of 2026 ends National Signing Day. All 27 commits have signed on the dotted line. They finished with the number 2 ranked class in the country.
Yeah.
I believe that there's one more rankings that come out in February or late January, which is kind of the final for 26.
That's official enrollment, I believe.
Yeah. So
guaranteed top 5 though.
Guaranteed top 5. So, which is ironic because I remember us having this conversation back in May and June about probably not going to be a top 5 class. Maybe you sneak in at 5 if you get JOB and Kari. You've signed 4 5-star players that are in the industry. You have 6 5-stars total, according to Rivals and 247. ESPN's the one that's kind of being a dipshit right now with all that. But it's the best recruiting class Notre Dame has landed in the modern internet recruiting era. the most 5 stars Notre Dame has landed in a class since 2013.
That was the Michael Floyd class, right? Manti Te'o, Michael Floyd.
2013. No, 2013 was the Gunnar Kiel class.
Oh, you're right.
With fucking Max
2009 was that
Redfield.
class.
Are you talking about UC legend Gunnar Kiel?
Yeah. UC
The last quarterback to come out of the state of Indiana.
Yeah. I think that was the Max Redfield class too. You had Max Redfield, who was somehow a 5-star in that class. But yeah. So first things first, we're not going to spend too much time on it because we'll dive into it more Sunday after we figure out everything.
Season's over.
When our season's over.
We missed the playoffs. I don't even know if
I just kind of want to go through this really quick. Your guys' thoughts on the impact of this class on Notre Dame in the future.
It was also Jalen Smith, not Gunnar Kiel.
Oh, okay, Jalen Smith. All right. And then the impact it has on Notre Dame and your favorite commit in the class and your sleeper in the class. Me and Sean did this last year. I'll go ahead and let Sean go first.
Can you pull up the rankings so I can see the players? Which I know the players. I just want to visualize.
Rankings, bitch.
Yeah.
Here are all the players.
Holy fuck. All right. You go first, Ryan.
He's got to read them.
All right. My favorite commit in this class is going to be.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt. I'm excited. Yeah. Your sleeper last year was Saldante, right? Wasn't mine Tay Johnson my sleeper?
Your sleeper was Tay Johnson.
He was a transfer?
No. The freshman, the safety, Tay.
I thought Tay was a transfer. No, I think it was someone else.
Stroman was.
Oh, Jalen Smith was transferred. Never mind. Keep going.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can do it again this year.
So my favorite commit in this class, it's going to be kind of a boring pick. Joey O'Brien.
Oh.
I know that's going to probably be the one. He is just he's 6'7". Anyway, he's 6'7". He's a safety, can play corner, can play slot, can play nickel. And he can also play on the offensive side of the ball. So I think that's interesting. I think he's going to be one of those. He's going to be the next Kyle Hamilton. I think he's going to have more impact in terms of he can play the offensive side of the ball. For him, one of the big recruiting pitches for him, I remember us talking about was they were open to letting him try out receiver. He is just as dominant of a receiver as he is a DB. And you get 6'7" receiver. And with all the talent and the depth that you have in the DB room right now, he may not see the field much in that part. So why not give him some run at receiver and see what he can do? Joey O'Brien's my favorite, and then my sleeper got to be Devin Fitzgerald. I think a lot of people slept on him, including me, when he originally committed because his tape isn't the flashiest, but the kid has gotten better over for his senior year this year. He works harder than anybody else. He gets those habits from his dad, one of the best receivers in NFL history. And he's a route tactician, man. And I think Devin Fitzgerald's going to be one of those guys that kind of like a Jordan Faison, where people don't think he's going to have an impact very early, but I could totally see it.
I do want to point something out. We talked about this a few months ago. Who did I say was going to be the best receiver in our class?
Finley?
No, Devin Fitzgerald. Why did I say it?
Because Daddy.
His dad?
Because Daddy. He's got that best. He's got that top 3 all-time blood.
All right, give your 5 examples.
But I would say my favorite, it's Jacoby Clapper. I watched Jacoby Clapper play in person. He's such a fucking dog. He ripped apart Elder High School in the regional championship game. If anyone watched that game, he destroyed them. It was terrible.
Is he your sleeper too?
No, he's not my sleeper. Well, I don't think he should be a sleeper, but if I have to choose him as my sleeper, I already said Devin Fitzgerald earlier in the year, so I'll change it. I think my sleeper if it goes right, if he gets the opportunity the same way Aeneas Williams has, I have to give some sort of idea that a guy like Javion Osborne or Jonathan or Jonah fucking Christ Walton can get an opportunity to play next year, and like that's a decently good
Top
thing
10
if we
running
have them
back
play
as a
earlier.
sleeper.
Like he's a top that, but he's not even the 10th best player on our
I get it.
maybe 10th.
I get it.
1, 2, 3,
I was
4,
thinking him
5, 6,
potentially as one
7,
of mine too,
8.
man. So 6,
Yeah.
7. I was thinking of him as one of my sleepers too. So I agree. So continue talking on that.
Well, actually,
Rank the running back.
neither of them are in the top 10 for their position. So hop off my balls. But no, I think realistically with how our team works, it would be insane for neither of them to get an opportunity to get playing time next year,
Yeah,
even
like,
if it is
at
a
least
playoff
like
run.
Jeremiah Love did as a third running back.
Yeah.
I gonna go with 3 things: my favorite, the best, and sleeper.
Okay.
My favorite, for obvious reasons, y'all should kind of know who this is. I'm an Arizona Cardinal fan and a Notre Dame fan, so
Devin
I'd be
Fitzgerald.
stupid to not have Devin Fitzgerald as my favorite player.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Grayson McConkey because he's from Pittsburgh.
McHugh.
McHugh.
Yeah,
McConkey.
McConkey. All right, there you go.
McConkey. Because he's from Pittsburgh,
Devin
isn't he?
Fitzgerald
Is
no.
yeah. Pennsylvania.
So I'm gonna go with, for me, who I think will be the best player in this class. It's tough because there's multiple I want to say as the best. I think it's very close between Ebenezer and Joey O'Brien and maybe Adams, but I think Joey O'Brien's going to be the best player in this class. So he's my pick for the best. My pick for a sleeper, I was right last year. I hope that I'm right with this one. I think not enough people are giving this player enough credit. He's very talented. I think he could have an impact eventually. I think Noah Grubbs is my sleeper pick for this class. I think nobody talks about him. They don't view him as a leader.
Dude, his rankings have plummeted. Like he just keeps dropping.
I
It's
think
crazy.
that he has the potential. He's not a Steve Angeli. I think he could be a Kenny, not play like Kenny Minchie, but I think it could be a situation where Noah Grubbs and somebody's competing for a job. I could see Noah Grubbs being our starter after Carr.
Do you think it could be a situation where you have Grubbs in the room when Carr leaves? He had already been there for a year. You have Teddy Gerard, who is kind of like the CJ Carr,
and I
in
think,
a sense.
and I think
they
Noah
battle
Grubbs
it out.
wins the job.
Okay.
Yeah. So no
I
Grubbs.
don't know about that. I don't know about that, but it could definitely happen. I defend you can ask Fravel. I defend Noah Grubbs. No, I think he's a great quarterback. I just think with a guy like because realistically, CJ Carr's gonna be probably here next year. It would not shock me if Noah Grubbs
last year.
Well, it could be his last year if he wants to go to the draft. He has 2 more years after this year.
A lot of people who know
if he's a
football-
first round pick, like how people think, he could go to the
Yeah.
draft. But so realistically, he has 2 years left of eligibility. Or does he have 3 years? No, he's 3 years. He's a redshirt freshman. So he's 3 years after this year. So he can be here for another 3 years.
But he'll be here.
If Carr goes next year, it would not shock me if they don't see any improvement out of Grubbs. If they maybe say, hey, we're going to bring in a transfer, like it depends on where we are as a team as well.
Did you hear what Freeman said in a conference today, though, about that?
No, what?
Freeman said that they got to a point where they had to take transfers, but he's at a point now where he wants to consistently have a homegrown Notre Dame quarterback year in and year out.
So that's the thing, where he wants to be and where he will be. Freeman's very good at improvising off of things that have bad if stuff doesn't go well. Yeah. I'm saying if next year Noah Grubbs comes in, he doesn't look like he improved that much. If Kenny Minchie somehow stays as well, that's another thing we haven't talked about.
Fuck, he's not.
He won't, but if he did somehow stay, but like I don't expect Freeman to say we're going to send Noah Grubbs out there as a redshirt freshman and hope he works out.
Are we counting out Hebert?
Yeah, Hebert is one that were you at the spring game, Ben, this year? he impressed. Like, and I get it. It was a spring game, but
Blake Hebert's our starting quarterback. No offense to Blake Hebert, probably a great kid. Probably is going to donate a lot of money to Notre Dame some days in IL. But I
he
need to
plays
see
a
a
lot
lot
like
more.
he plays a
I
lot
need to
like
see a lot
Riley.
more. He
plays
does.
yeah, he does.
But that's no offense to Riley. That's in a negative direction. Riley Leonard worked out really well because of how good Riley was. Riley Leonard, for his skill type, is a fucking like unicorn for being successful in
But that's the
college
thing is,
football. Being
Blake,
that successful.
if you watch his tape, Blake
And
runs
also,
like
there's a shit ton of players in college football are a lot like Riley. Tyler Buckner's a lot like Riley too.
but he's not. But when I'm saying he
But
plays
he's
like
not
Riley,
what,
I mean
Ryan?
he's
White?
like
Yeah.
no. I'm saying he's like so. Riley's what 6'4"? Riley's 6'4", right?
Yeah, 6'7", 6'4".
Okay, 6'7", 6'4". All right. Anyway, but like if you watch Blake Hebert's tape, he plays a lot like how Riley does in terms of he's got the same body style. He's a bigger guy, and he likes when he runs, he likes to run through people, kind of like how Riley did, which for a quarterback's not the greatest.
The thing
But
is, that's very common in college football.
what? A guy that can can run
A
and can
quarterback
throw?
that's better on his feet than he is on the throw overall.
Well,
I
he's
think,
a good thresser. He was a top 10 quarterback before he tore
Ryan,
his
you brought him
ACL.
up. We have to talk about it again. God, you remember how much I loved Tyler Buckner? God.
Yeah, you said Tyler Buckner was going to lead us to a fucking national championship.
He did. I said it.
Oh, yeah.
He did, in fact. He just wasn't the starting quarterback. He was great in that one fake.
And he
He-
won. He
he
won
was
a
great.
lacrosse one.
He was
won a
great.
lacrosse national championship.
He won two.
So I wasn't wrong, but just a little bit.
He was great at holding the clipboard on the way to the
Can I
last
say
year.
that I'm very excited Sunday to go in depth on all these players, because there's a lot of these players that we didn't talk about that are so good that I really want to go in depth on.
Yeah. I do. And my last thing, Grubbs, I think Grubbs, when he committed, he was a top 10 quarterback. He's just fallen. Part of it's because his offensive line is dog shit. His best receiver transferred. Did high schools this past year. So it's not all his fault. But I think he's a solid quarterback.
You said, man, this dude's so ass. I gotta leave him playing.
No. But yeah. All right, let's go ahead and just do our final two topics. We'll talk about Stanford game very quickly. There's no need to really go too in depth.
Dominated. That's it.
Yeah.
We were not tied at halftime. We were never down.
Yeah.
In the overhit.
Can you? I know you were, Sean. I knew you were pissed that we let Stanford. By the way, I think what made this game more annoying for me than the fact that I wasn't that, and the fact that I had to deal with our group chat bitching that we didn't win by 70, and then I had to deal with listening to fucking Brock Osweiler for fucking 4 hours talk about the complete history of Stanford football.
I'm not saying anything that could hold me legally liable. But I guarantee you, Brock Osweiler, he's on the Epstein list.
I do.
He was on the plane after the Super Bowl. He went to the island. He was over there for the water slide.
He's gonna get Mark Sanchez.
Dude, we got the complete.
He's gonna get Mark Sanchez.
We got the complete encyclopedia of Stanford history, Stanford football, where the program is, where the program's headed. We got talk about
Andrew Luck come up in the fucking booth and fucking do it for a half. I could have been more upset.
And then
Osweiler's fucking derpy ass face on the fucking screen.
He looks like
and then also the fact that Charlie Meyer comes in, the son of former Notre Dame quarterback Rick Meyer, and this dumbass these dumbasses in the booth don't know. Oh, Charlie Meyer comes in. That's a great story. He's been here for 5 years, never played a snap. And it's like, are they going to mention it? Or are they going to? And then they go to break. Well, while we were at break, our stats guys told us this is the son of Notre Dame quarterback, former Notre Dame quarterback Rick. Do you not do your research? Like I get it's
Right. Right.
like,
They're on fucking Stanford Notre Dame at 10:30 Eastern. You think this is the A squad?
Yeah.
No. This is like Mark Sanchez level replay. This is like when Brady Quinn fucking did the Colts game like a week or a few weeks ago because Mark Sanchez got stabbed and beat the shit out of an 80-year-old man. Like, what are we talking? No, this was the B squad. Like, this
dude,
wasn't even.
I'm not gonna lie.
This was 8th grade.
It would have been. I would have rather listened to Yields for a call a game for 4 hours than listen to Brock Osweiler.
Yeah, because then we at least know he's
I would rather
autistic.
listen to Irish News talk about.
Oh god!
Because then we at least know he's autistic. Like Brock Osweiler has a fucking degree from Stanford.
Dude, could you imagine fucking Yields and Irish Muse calling a game together?
Sports
Oh,
talk
Jalen
viewers
Steed.
again.
Where's Jalen Seed? Fuck that guy. Yeah, Notre Dame's got a big week here in Nashville Sunday. They really should drop Dylan Fajon's fucking scholarship, though.
I
Oh,
don't know
I
how
hate-
good he's going to pan out like his brother. Maybe he's another Heinisch, but
I
we'll
Oh,
see.
I don't know. I don't have any problem with bringing him in. If he ends up being supposedly he's better at football than his brother too.
We'll see.
But I
I
also
think-
think. Yeah, go ahead, John. Go ahead.
This game, I was frustrated. I wanted to beat them by more than Miami did. But yeah, we had backups in late. We did have some starters still trickle in and out occasionally. So I think that
over.
Oh, we did.
yeah, I didn't like giving up that late touchdown. I felt like they took the gas off the pedal in a week that they shouldn't have. Even though we blew them out by 29 points, I still felt like
It was
it's your
49-3, Sean. I mean, what?
don't take the gas off the pedal. I just keep going.
The gas
I would rather give up 17 points than Drake Bowen get hurt or someone get hurt.
Oh.
Not
And also,
saying
there were
your starters
people-
have to be in, but don't take the gas pedal off.
The
with
people in the
backup.
group chat that wanted us to keep Jeremiah Love in and like.
Yeah,
lead
those
that
guys are
game,
fucking idiots.
Okay,
Like,
I didn't want
No,
him to.
I do not give a shit about a Heisman Trophy. It's
Thank you.
irrelevant.
I'm saying I never said that I wanted him to stay in. I just said that if Jeremiah Love wants to stay in, and because he wants to win that, I'm not against him staying in for the record.
you're at the
And
point
this
of a
is
head
what I
coach.
said. This is
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
said. Marcus Freeman. This is a situation where Marcus Freeman's like, shut the fuck up and sit down. You are the best player on our team. You are a top 5 player in the country. You're not going back in. And he went back in. You're not going to do what you've been doing.
And he's
Because
what,
we
20
cannot
yards
risk it.
away
And
from
you
the
notice-
rushing record.
Fuck it. He could play in the bowl game and get it.
He's not going
You
to.
notice.
He
You
won't,
noticed,
but he
bro.
can.
You notice though.
He could go play a drive.
Freeman talked about it in his post-game press conference that he tried putting Love back in. Love wanted to go out there really bad, so he trusted him. He put him out there, and he's like, you could just tell he was hurting. And I was like, yeah, I think
people forget, like when you
like
get
it's-
hit in the rib area and you lose your breath. Yeah, it's very hard to just get right back into that shit. That's why boxers and fighters, they talk about like they try to protect their lower insides. It's hard to get athletically back into shit, like just right then and there because you have like your breathing is off pace.
Do you-
So
do you-
certain
But
things like that.
realistically, I don't think Love, with how Sayan played against Michigan, I don't think Love really could have done anything against Stanford that would have won him the Heisman. Realistically,
I don't think Stan wins. So,
I don't. Who are you going to give it to? I'm not giving it to. I don't think Mendoza.
Mrs.
played like
Pavia's
shit.
throwing that ass for the fucking committee.
But my
Love
thing-
still top 3? Is he still?
Love is top.
Yeah, he
three.
is.
I think
Yeah.
he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my
I think he's gonna be in New York.
Do you
but-
view Williams in this
I
game?
think
as
he
a
wins
great
the
run
Maxwell
against-
if you want to. If
Do
you want my actual opinion.
Do you view Williams as a starter? Because I don't.
Well, Aeneas?
Yes.
Well, Keedron Young's going to be back next year, coming off of his.
We'll have James back. I think what's going to happen is it's got to be a 1-2 of someone like maybe Young and Williams, or it will be a 1-2. I think Aeneas Williams will be the overall like guy who we're going to talk about the whole offseason will be the starter, but we won't fully have an understanding until after like probably the 6th or 7th game. That was sort of on purpose, but that's why I actually believe.
Miami won't get in. Miami can't jump in D. Trying to get in these comments real quick, and then we'll get to our our pick'ems for the championship. Can't lose to Louisville and SMU in the middle of the season and think you can just jump a team with 10 straight wins. Devin Fitzgerald or Kobe Clapper, so he disagrees with you guys. Noah is a great player. Been on that for a while now. Yeah, people don't like him because he's a stereotypical pocket passer, I feel like. But Clapper is my sleeper. Fitzgerald will be special in my opinion. Doesn't matter what happens. I'm not saving Miami from the blowout. It's not saving the Miami from the blowout next year against Notre Dame.
Oh,
Speaking of which, they announced the game will be played November 7th. It's going to be decently cold. Or it should be. Hopefully it is. Like I'm hoping for 30-degree weather. We talked about this last night. I'm going to this game without a doubt. Ben and Sean, is that the plan?
I'll look how the schedule looks just because we're not playing USC to end the year. I always try to go, and with the certain things I have connections wise, I'm going to try to go to Senior Day next year. So I might make the trip up twice in a 3-week span if that does not end up being Senior Day. I don't know how the schedule looks next year.
We'll see.
Yeah.
It's not,
I think
next year's schedule is the last of the easiest for the next decade. They start to get really tough, but next year is one of the easiest schedules. I think
we should go 12-0.
Next year's the easiest schedule on paper we have had in like probably 8 years. Since I would say probably that 2016 season, 2016 season when we made the playoffs.
We should go 12-0. Like we realistically
2018.
But I already picked out like this next year. I'm going to Miami. I'm going to the Wisconsin game at Lambeau. But yeah, Miami's one. We need to beat the shit out of them when they come to South Bend next year. But all right, let's go ahead and get to our championship game pick'ems. We'll start with one that actually impacts Notre Dame. Yeah, I don't know really how much.
Texas Tech,
but I guess
let BYU win. I'm just kidding.
But I guess you can say that this helps Notre Dame's resume. Boise State versus UNLV. Boise State is actually favored in this game.
I'm taking Boise State. I think Boise State's a better team than UNLV. I think UNLV has played an easier schedule than Boise State up to this point.
Taking Boise State.
Yeah, give me the Broncos in that one.
I want to say UNLV's already lost. I think they got blown out by Boise State when they played them. I'm pretty sure.
I think you might be right. All right, Troy at James Madison. Good old Jared Parker is playing for a conference championship.
Give me Jamie.
It will do numbers. Fucking numbers if Troy wins this game. But the reason it'll do numbers is because JMU's a 23-point favorite. Give me JMU.
JMU. Yeah.
Yeah, give me the Dukes. Kennesaw State at Jacksonville State.
Kennesaw State.
Give me Jacksonville. Give me the Gamecocks because they won. Yeah, shut up. Cocks out, man.
That's a bad word.
No,
I do think
this game was played 2 weeks ago, and Jacksonville State won in a blowout. So give me Jacksonville State.
I'm taking Kennesaw State because there's a way Kennesaw State makes the playoffs.
That's crazy. Can they? I thought they had the bowl ban.
No. That last year they had the bowl ban. This year they don't because they're academically eligible.
Okay.
But no, if Kennesaw State wins, James Madison loses, and Duke loses, or Duke wins.
I think Duke gets in at that point.
I don't know. Supposedly Kennesaw State did pretty well in the AP vote that people are saying that's a shot. I don't know.
Right. North Texas versus Tulane.
Tulane.
North Texas.
Give me North Texas. All right. Let's see. BYU versus Texas Tech.
BYU. I mean, sorry, Texas Tech. Oh my God.
What the fuck is wrong with this
What
guy?
the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh man,
Get off the fucking podcast.
I think Texas Tech. I was overthinking it, and I was like, what if Texas Tech hates Notre Dame so much they let BYU win? But
the coach would lose $2.5 million if he loses this game.
Yeah, I think they're gonna win for the bye week too. I think Texas Tech is gonna pretty easily win this game.
Yeah, I'm taking Texas Tech.
I'm taking Texas Tech, but I'm taking BYU to cover the spread. It's 12.5. I think they cover
All
that
right.
spread.
The MAC championship, Miami, Ohio versus Western Michigan.
Western Michigan's Lance Taylor, right?
Yes,
Yeah, give me Lance Taylor and the little ponies.
little ponies.
Give
Give me, give me Western Michigan in that one too.
Give me Miami, Ohio. Josh Ringer. Remember the name. 2 touchdowns. Just telling you.
Okay,
Alright.
okay. What's his name? You're trying to be like that actor Timothy Chalamet over here.
Well, the thing is that I don't know anyone else on Miami, Ohio's team. Josh Ringer was my point guard in CYO basketball in 8th grade. So
Yeah, I don't think
that's
Timothy
the reason I know
Chalamet
him.
knew anyone other than their quarterback.
All right.
That's the reason I know him.
All right. Duke versus Virginia.
Virginia, I think pretty easily.
I want to see the world burn.
What you want and think is two different things.
I want Duke to win this game.
What
I
you
really
want and
want them
think
to.
is two different things.
I think Duke can win this fucking game. It's the most fucked up shit of all time.
Hold on a second.
Notre Dame is dead. Roll Tide. Okay, cousin fucker, go back to work.
All right. Go lose to Florida State again, bud. And then was it Tech hasn't won a conference title? Is that true?
They have not
Texas
won
Tech
the
has
Big 12.
never won.
They've never won the
Virginia
Big
and
12.
Duke have
Did they
never
not
either.
Did they not win? What was the
Nope, they did not. With Mahomes, they never won. With Crabtree,
No,
they didn't win.
the old conference, the one before the Big
No,
12.
they didn't even. No, the Big 8, Big 10, they never won it. Well, they weren't in the Big. They weren't in the Big 10.
No, the Big 8. Was it the Big 8? Was it? And
The
then
Big 8, they weren't. They didn't join until it
Southwest-
was the Big 12.
the
They didn't join
Southwest
until it was
The
the Big
Big 12
12.
used to not have conference championships. They were
Yeah.
the last
No, but it used to be the Big 12 used to be the Southwest Conference.
But they did not join the Big 12 until it became the Big 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna take Virginia in this one. I don't think Duke is a good team.
I want to see pure chaos.
All right. Indiana at Ohio State, or not at Ohio State, but versus Ohio State.
Can we talk about how a game that's exciting as this doesn't matter and the rarity of it? Like
It doesn't matter.
No matter what, a team's getting a bye week. No matter what, a team is in the playoffs. I think the 1 seed's worse than what the other seed would get. So do you even want to win? Maybe a Heisman. Give me Ohio State.
Give me Ohio State in a blowout. I think we're going to figure out how much different Ohio State and Indiana are yet again for the second straight year. I swear to God, if you say Indiana.
Give me Amari Cooper Jr.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
First touchdown. Give me Indiana by a field goal. Give me under on the points, Indiana by a field goal.
Do you realize the hell and the shit talking that we would get from IU fans? Oh, Jesus.
Wait,
Is
wait, to be exact, that you would get, because you have shit on them for weeks on weeks. And I told you, Ryan, shut the fuck up. What'd your mom tell you, Ryan? To listen to me when I say shut the fuck up, and you don't do it.
Can Hartline still coach?
No.
No, he's not. Yeah.
He doesn't want to, but he might be forced to. They haven't actually let him go, but he could still. It sounds like he doesn't want to coach in the playoffs. He wants to fully get invested with USF.
I'm surprised he accepted UCF of all jobs.
USF.
USF. Sorry.
I'm not. He gets to build. He gets to build his own thing.
Why wasn't Penn State? Penn State not try to?
No, they were. Brian Hartline turned him down.
He picked South Florida over.
He doesn't want to play in the Big Ten.
That's crazy.
Brian Hartline does not want to play in the Big Ten with Penn State because he knows they get
How soon do we see 5-star receivers go to South Florida?
I don't think we see that. I think we end up seeing like 4 stars go to. I don't think it'll be 5 stars.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Final game.
If Chris Henry Jr. flips to South Florida, though, I'll fucking.
Oh Jesus!
Like he still hasn't committed.
Would that be like the same as like a Travis Hunter going from?
No, that's an FCS school.
Like a Travis Hunter going to an FCS school.
That's an HBCU versus. This would be like USF was almost in the playoffs a few years ago. We remember that.
Yeah.
So not a few years ago, like 15 years ago, but it wouldn't be the
2007.
same. Yeah.
They
All
also
right,
almost made it this year, technically. I mean, they were good.
Georgia-
Yeah, true. And they fucking blew it up.
Georgia versus Bama. Georgia, Kirby Smart is 0-3 against Alabama in SEC title games.
1-9 all time or 1-7 all time. I'm gonna say this too. If Alabama wins this, people don't agree with me. I think you're fucking stupid if you think this is not true. If Alabama beats Georgia, they're jumping up to get a bye week. Georgia's falling out of the top 4, and Alabama's gonna jump half those SEC teams for being the champion of the conference. If you don't think Alabama would get a bye week and they would put 3 Big 10 teams and a Big 12
I think
team in
Bama
there,
would jump to 4 and Georgia would jump to or go down to 5. I think that's what would be.
yeah, and I think Texas Tech would be 3. So, but
Yeah.
I think Georgia gets it done. I do.
They have for some reason, Kirby has an Alabama problem. I do think, though, that
Not really for some reason. He kind of went against the best coach in college football history for majority of those losses.
okay, what's the excuse with Kalen DeBoer?
I don't fucking know. Well, okay, sometimes his player just fucking swan dived on top of a pile for no reason.
And then also his receiver decided to drop a wide open touchdown this year.
And
That
Ryan
would've won
Williams
the game.
decided to be asked
yeah.
every week and be on the cover of the video game.
But I do, I do think Kirby Smart in a rematch. I think he's still the best coach in college football right now. Give me Kirby Smart and the Bulldogs to win this game.
You know, I have to be integrity here when I say this. Until Kirby Smart proves to me he can beat Alabama, I'm picking Alabama to win this game.
Okay, I can see.
I have to have integrity, even though I want UGA to win. I just don't see it happening because I don't think Kirby Smart can beat Alabama.
All right. Well, that has been
Ryan.
our what's up?
Did y'all see the interview that Freeman had today, and that he was asked if he's about the Giants, but asked if he was staying at Notre Dame, and he said yes.
It's like, oh yeah,
No way I'm
oh
leaving.
yeah.
No way
No
I'm
way.
leaving.
I do want to say this.
I'm not leaving.
For all we have 237 people watching right now. I don't know exactly what time. What time is the playoff rankings on Sunday? Noon? Eastern?
Let me look it up. I'll look it up.
No.
Okay. Are you guys
Pretty sure
wanting
it's
to?
noon.
Are you guys wanting to do the show after the rankings, or
No.
are you guys wanting to do it?
I
What
think
do you
we
guys-
should start before so we can be happy going over the recruits. And then,
Oh, just to have our fucking day ruined?
yeah, because if we get our
I'm
day
not going to
ruined,
disagree. If I find out we're not in the playoffs, I'm not going to talk about recruiting.
Yeah, that's true.
you agree, right,
That's
Ben?
true.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
We should probably. I said we start at 11, or maybe like 11:30, or
Yeah,
maybe
We're gonna need a
11.
full hour to go in depth on these recruits.
Yeah, and
11
then
Eastern.
we're probably going to also talk about the conference champ games as well. So
Are we talking 11 Eastern then?
yeah,
Okay, so that would be 10 my time. That'd be what?
Hey,
9 your
remember
time?
last year when we got clipped, Ryan?
They get clips for what?
You can find that clip heading into Sunday when our reaction to our rankings last year. I wonder what it's going to be like this year.
Who clipped it?
It was when we got clipped by that Oregon fan. Your buddy.
Oh, Graham?
He clipped us because we were both all in the podcast, and we were like, oh, we have to face Georgia. Why we didn't go up against Penn State? You don't remember?
Oh, we were pissed about not getting. We were
Jumping
pissed
Penn
about
State.
being. Yeah, we were pissed about that. It ended up working itself out anyway, but yeah. So
Hey,
yeah,
my fortune cookie tonight said that last week, or I had Chinese tonight, I didn't open it, but last week when I had a fortune cookie, it said in the next 2 weeks you'll get good news. So I better get that good news, Notre Dame.
Brown's going to have a kid.
No.
Well, guys, as I said, we will be back Sunday morning to discuss the conference championship games, to go in depth on the recruiting class. But anyways, guys, for all the 240 people that tuned in, make sure you go over to the Voice of College Football Notre Dame YouTube channel. Drop a sub, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think of the show. We will be back next on Sunday. As always, stay safe and go Irish.
6-7, go Irish.